Imagine a man with no official title, no public role, yet he could command the attention of Hollywood's elite, buy multi-million-dollar yachts, and throw parties that cost more than most people earn in a lifetime. This is the story of Jho Low. A seemingly unassuming financier from Malaysia who orchestrated one of the largest financial frauds in history, stealing billions from his own country to fund a life of unimaginable excess. Low wasn't born into staggering wealth, but he certainly understood its allure. His family had a history in business, some of it, let's say, questionable. And from a young age, Jho Low displayed a singular ambition to be obscenely rich and incredibly powerful. His path to power began in elite boarding schools like Harrow in London, and later the prestigious Wharton School of Business in the US. These weren't just places for education, they were networking hubs. And here, Low cultivated friendships that would become his stepping stones, most notably with a young man named Riza Aziz, the stepson of Malaysia's future prime minister. Low quickly grasped the potential of sovereign wealth funds, vast pools of a nation's money theoretically meant for its people, for development, and he saw them as the ultimate piggy bank. His early foray into a project called Iskandar was a dress rehearsal. Here he perfected the art of the shell company. He'd use these empty corporate structures, layered with obscure financial instruments like bearer shares, to divert millions. It was a classic, now you see it, now you don't trick. And it earned him his first significant illicit fortune. With Najib Razak ascending to Prime Minister in 2009, the stage was set for a much bigger act. The Malaysian government established One Malaysia Development Berhad, or 1MDB, a state investment fund designed to spur economic growth. But behind the scenes, Jho Low, with no formal position, gained unprecedented access and ultimately control. The first major play came quickly. A joint venture between 1MDB and a private oil company called Petro Saudi. 1MDB invested $1 billion. But here's the kicker. Of that billion, a staggering $700 million was immediately diverted. Not to Petro Saudi, but to a mysterious entity called Good Star Limited. And Good Star, it turned out, was entirely controlled by Jho Low. Suddenly, Jho Low was flush with cash, and he began to spend it with an almost unbelievable abandon. We're talking over $85 million on partying and gambling in just 8 months. He became a fixture in the global party scene, attracting A-list celebrities, often with hefty appearance fees. He was living the high life on other people's billions. The stolen money wasn't just for parties. It financed Hollywood blockbusters, like The Wolf of Wall Street through Red Granite Pictures, a company conveniently co-founded by Najib Razak's stepson, Riza Aziz. And Low indulged in a passion for high art, buying masterpieces with illicit funds. He wasn't just stealing money, He was laundering his image. Stories like Jho Low's are complex, and bringing them to light requires immense dedication. Here at Substantia Labs, we're committed to unearthing the core truths behind the world's most unbelievable phenomena. If you're captivated by these deep dives and appreciate the meticulous research and production, your support helps us continue this work. Please take a moment to subscribe and like this video. It truly fuels our mission. For any business inquiries, collaborations, or advertising, you can find our contact information linked directly in the description below. Thank you for being a part of the Substantia Labs community. All right, now let's deep dive back to the story. But how did billions flow so easily through such a complex system? A major enabler was Goldman Sachs. The prestigious investment bank raised billions for 1MDB through bond deals, from which vast sums were siphoned off. Key Goldman executives like Tim Leissner and Roger Ng were deeply involved. They effectively turned a blind eye, or worse, to the illicit transfers. The corruption reached the highest levels. Najib Razak's wife Rosma Mansour became a notable recipient of expensive gifts, including a single $23 million necklace, all paid for with money meant for the Malaysian people. The public trust was being systematically looted. For years, the party continued, but eventually, the cracks began to show. Missing loan payments from 1MDB and the relentless, courageous work of whistleblowers and investigative journalists started to expose the staggering truth. The fallout was immense. Najib Razak was voted out of office, charged, and eventually found guilty of corruption. The U.S. Department of Justice launched its largest kleptocracy enforcement action ever, seizing assets bought with the stolen funds. And even some of the Goldman Sachs executives faced justice, with Tim Leissner pleading guilty and Roger Ng convicted. But the mastermind, Jho Low, remains an international fugitive. Believed to be in Macau, potentially under the protection of Chinese authorities, he continues to evade justice, a ghost of the lavish life he once led. The story of Jho Low is a stark reminder of how unchecked ambition, financial deception, and political power can unravel nations. And for now, the man who stole billions continues his life in the shadows, a testament to a heist that truly shocked the world. Thank you for being a part of the Substantia Labs community. We'll see you in the next one.